Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 39 of Podcast of Five Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast of Five Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and SoundCloud, and now topic by topic, day by day on YouTube, with the full video releasing on Friday. Catch updates about the podcast or for other news, give us a follow on your social media platform of choice, listed down in that description below. I'm your host and GM.
Did you fall down another cliff?
And overseer. The podcast, the Five Rings, Obsidian. Now I'm humbling up the cliff. Below.
You know, there's gonna be one guy who thinks that the recording is bad because, like, he did that.
Can Sam, which?
Make it.
The what? Fault, Suo. Yes, that was perfect, tense. I couldn't tell if you were actually cutting out or if you were doing it on purpose.
No, I was doing it on purpose.
Okay. Oh my god. We're memeing too much today, guys.
There we are. We're memeing today.
We're laughing with 3 Fs. We're having a good time. This is a Dark Fortune Duelist meta.
Yup.
And the resident wild card now.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on with you guys? What are you doing?
Nothing.
If you're like Mal, you've been just existing, living in a hole, staring up at your ceiling,
Contemplating.
having existential crisis. Why am I here? What am I doing?
Just the usual.
Do I eat Chick-fil-A tonight? Nope, it's not Sunday. I have no desire to eat Chick-fil-A. I ate Chick-fil-A on Monday because I wanted it on Sunday. I think we were talking about that when we recorded the monthly mod.
Where we were cats.
Which should be out by the time you hear this.
Oh, yeah.
All I've got to do is put it into Vegas Pro and cut it.
Do your job.
Yeah. I've already got the audio edited and stuff. I just forgot. I was too busy enjoying my half inches of snow day yesterday.
Oh.
It's dangerous. Nobody can drive around
this morning for us.
Oh my god, that's
I
unheard
remember
of.
the last time I felt that. At least when I went outside.
Now I can see my breath. What's going on here?
Jeez.
I know what Tets is doing after the podcast is over.
Yeah.
Playing some more Monster Hunter World beta.
Monster Hunter Beta, yeah. Because I think next weekend to actually play the main game.
I'll have to wait till the weekend myself.
Next Friday.
It's coming out. I still need to
Gonna
pre-order
drop.
it.
Can't wait.
I'm going to forget.
I gotta remember to pre-order it. Don't let me forget, Obs. I'll help you not forget if you help me not forget.
Deal. I promise that we will both remind each other to forget.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hold
Are
on.
you
you
going to
get
get the more expensive version where you can dress up like a samurai?
I didn't even know that was a version, but I might have
Meta's
to
like,
now. I might have to now.
Deluxe version comes with some samurai gear, a top knot hairstyle, and some samurai stickers.
I just want
Yeah,
the
but unless you
stickers.
what does it matter though? Because unless you can,
I think it's a
glamour-
skin, so you can always look
Yeah.
like that.
Oh.
Instead of whatever
they're
you're
gonna have.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
might
this
do
one,
it.
they're gonna have a few
Yeah.
things where your armor,
Yeah.
like you can wear, and then your armor goes on top.
Yeah.
I might have to do it then, just for the samurai armor. Gosh damn,
How much
it's
more
my
is it?
kryptonite. Yeah, how
It's
much
only
is it?
Like
$10
$20.
more.
Oh, is it
Okay.
10? I can't remember.
We were like,
Oh, it's only $10. Pff, yeah, fine, whatever.
it's like, yeah, whatever. It's all good. I'll show that up.
I will. That's not gonna break my bank. So
Yeah, fair enough.
I thought it was gonna be like some deluxe edition where you could get the game for $50 or pay $100 and also get this cool skin. I'm like,
Get
oh,
a giant
God.
statue of Rathalos.
Well,
But
actually,
it looks that way. It's only actually
140
5 inches. So.
Yeah,
How many
the one-
versions?
$140 version has Nergigante.
Good
It has
God.
that. It has a steel book, and I think the samurai stuff, and then the pre-order bonus always comes with it. So that's all that it has for
What are we maining, guys? What are we maining?
Fucking heavy gun.
I can't find a bigger picture, but
Oh,
there you
that
go.
looks really cool, actually. Holy crap.
Charge blade.
Yeah, that looks.
Blade.
I thought it was gonna be like samurai inspired. That's an like an actual
No,
Super
actual
Samurai armor.
samurai gear.
Holy
Nah.
shit, that looks awesome, actually. I might
Yeah,
Or
it looks pretty
$10.
sweet.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's kind of worth $10 to me. That's probably one of the coolest sets of samurai gear I've ever seen. in
You'll
a
also
Well,
game.
I'm not going to
like,
get it because we'll just be confused.
You'll also get the Seiza position.
Oh man,
emote.
I want that.
Well, definitely gonna have to get it now. 'Cause I'm a sucker for this kind of shit.
Beeps and
And a
boops.
tattoo that says wyvern for your face as well.
Dude,
I
that
think.
looks so cool.
Sweet.
Gosh dang. Alas, it's kind of a shame that you can't actually use the katana on it.
Yeah.
The character's
Longsword.
armor.
Yeah,
You
you
gotta
use
be
the
the
long
one.
katana,
Got to be that one guy.
the no dachi.
Oh yeah, I can use a no dachi. There you go.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it's
you're doing
weird.
the heavy gun.
It's gonna be really weird when I'm running around with samurai gear and then I pull out like a giant gun.
Yeah, historical inaccuracy. You're
Look.
not like a monk or anything. So
Look, you say katana, I say giant
Go all
50
Oda
caliber
Nobunaga
gun.
on 'em.
Okay.
it's there. It's out there somewhere.
It's there. It's sort of historically maybe accurate.
Rain fire from the heavens with that
That's
wyvern
right.
fire.
I'm just dispensing the heaven's will through through bullets.
Exactly. One cartridge at a time.
Uh,
Yeah. I don't even know what I did over the weekend, but I did spend all of yesterday watching marathoning Devilman Crybaby, which was really good. I'm not going to
What?
linger
What is
on
that about?
I don't know if I can really sum it up quickly. There's a guy, he's
Okay.
Devilman, he fights devils. There's the too long didn't read. But it's
Wait,
it's
is it-
70s shonen, but it's just got like a modern adaptation. It's really good.
Oh,
Check it
okay.
out.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. I this took me a moment to click, but it's kind of gory, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not everyone's.
Cup of
It's
tea.
not for everyone. It's not anime for everyone. It's got lots of sex, lots of violence in it. So
Nice. Just what I need when I want to turn my brain off.
no more than if you can handle Berserk or Ninja Scroll, then it's not really
well,
going to
then-
offend you. But
Okay, well.
some people, they might have delicate sensibilities.
I think like Berserk, Ninja Scroll, if that's kind of like the standard, aren't they?
I think the OVAs were actually done by the same guy who did Ninja Scroll, if I remember correctly. No, I'm thinking of someone. I'm thinking of the Highlander anime, which is awful.
What?
But
What?
yeah, there's a Highlander anime movie. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh my god. I gotta.
That's probably
Whoa! I can't sing that high. There's a little anime music video to it. It has a really awesome song in
I
it.
thought you were trying to go with the Queen song from the show.
I'll find that and link that to you guys later. But anyways, damn, we've been rambling for 8 minutes. Let's get into our topics. Meta, you are first, so you start us off there, broski.
Well, I want to go back to a time. No, I'm just gonna name it. Game releases now and then. I don't feel like doing some build into it. I'm gonna.
Sounds like the title of a like an English 101 essay paper.
Yeah, it is. It does actually kind of sound like that. I could probably put that as my thesis for my master's.
There you go.
documentary of games.
So it essentially came about through an image I saw recently, and it was kind of making fun of Final Fantasy 15, but utilizing Final Fantasy 7 as the drop. And it essentially goes down where the game originally released in a period of time. So Final Fantasy VII's release date comes out, and it states the backstories for Cloud, Barret, Tifa, and Aeris are cut from the main game and released as anime miniseries. And then it says the Midgar escape sequence is cut from the main game and released as a CGI movie. And then it says the game actually comes out, but only Cloud is the playable character. And then it goes through the whole process of you get these areas Gold Saucer will unlock, then you finally get to play as Barret, then you get to play as Tifa. Then it does you get to now play in certain areas of the game that you really couldn't. Now you can find out the backstory of a different character was happening when they weren't with the party. Now you can play with everybody. And then they release the special edition version of the game that comes out after the fact that has all the DLC, all the characters, everything unlocked, plus a little bit extra content that wasn't in the game before as well. And it kind of hit a chord with me because I noticed that seems to be a really common thing with a fair number of games. I don't want to say a lot, but a number of games out there will end up releasing out a product, and you will play that game, But then, as time goes on, they'll either drop things that either expand on areas that were missing, or they will allow you to play with more characters. And generally, this is a good thing. But it almost seems to be a problem when it comes into play for games that it feels like that content was cut, pulled off to the side. They released the game out, and now they're putting it back now that it's finished. But this wasn't a thing that even happened back then. And I mean, there's a lot of probably reasons for it, but back then, when the game was out, it was out. You were done. If they didn't finish content of the game, it just wasn't finished. Ever.
It might get a sequel or something, but that was about
Yeah.
as far as it went.
Like I remember playing this game called Saga Frontier. And it was a really good game. For those of you who remember this game, you'll hit your nostalgia button right there. But it was, for those of you who don't know, Saga Frontier was a game on the PSX. And the concept was that you could play as, there was all these different main characters, and you would actually choose them at the start of the game whose story you wanted to play through. And their story would play through, there was essentially a number of areas within the game that all of their stories were crossing over at different periods of points in time, sometimes even crossing through other players' stories at the same time as they were doing things, and it would tell their story. However, if you've played the game, you also know that some of the characters' endings are really weird, or really rushed, or completely cut out. There were points in the game where, when it got released, certain characters' endings were just not done. Like I think Blue, for the magic user, and I think another character, their endings are effectively just cut. Blue ends with you going into like the final battle in hell, and you go through 4 battles, and then suddenly just the game ends and it just drops into credits. There's no reason, there's no logic for anything. It just drops right into credits, and that's, oh, you won his story, and I'm like, wait, what? And then there's another character who, she kind of goes through this whole thing where she ends up facing this evil bad guy, and you fight him, and then suddenly he's just dead at the end of the fight, which I mean obviously makes sense because it's the fight, but it doesn't actually resolve. He just you kill him off, and then it ends, and they walk out, and then that's it. It just cuts to credits. It doesn't give you any actual resolution for it, which tells you that they probably had more to do with it, and they cut it out because they couldn't finish it. I don't know if that's true or not, but stuff like that kind of gives me the impression of like what we're kind of seeing nowadays, is that that's something. Go please.
I was just gonna say, I think it's very common in RPGs basically, where they tend to, I mean, they're a much larger scope game because they might take upwards of 60 hours to beat. So the budgeting for that ends up being a lot harder. I'm reminded of Xenogears, which was another PlayStation 1 game that it was 2 discs, and the second disc is just a lot more rushed through because, and I mean, it's a well-known that they didn't have the budget to fully complete it. Like, give it the same quality as the first disc, basically.
Yeah, and you can see there's and I mean, like, the differences between then and now have definitely changed as well with the advent of updates, which allows them to just update something as it goes on by.
Yeah, now I mean, like, again, with being an RPG, like, and the thing that really kind of came about to create that image you saw with Final Fantasy 15, like, I mean, basically back in the day, you would have just gotten the base game, which is a complete game. I mean, but it has its like random like storyline holes and whatnot.
Yeah.
It was
that's all you got.
Ending or whatever, right? Like, that would have been all you got.
Yep.
And then you get like a movie like 8 years later too. But anyways, I almost feel like it's more magnified in this case, especially with 15, just because of the troubled development of the game.
15, definitely, that was like a 10-year development.
But I mean, this is just, you have to look no further than what are they called? What's it called? Oh my god, why are they eluding my name or my brain now? The Walking Dead games, Telltale games are episodic, so it's. And Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be episodic. It's just a weird new model, and people are kind of embracing, and it seems to be working out, and it's making money for people.
Well, yeah, what is it? The Storm game, Life is
Strange.
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange.
Yeah, sorry. It's got a storm in it. It's all episodic.
To the one, Anyway, we're apparently all forgetting stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of episodes.
Shovel Knight. That was
Yep.
more kickstarted though. Is the reason.
Yeah,
But, like,
that was
Shovel Knight's a little bit different in its case because like when they got kickstarted, they made promises and
right.
barring-
And then Shovel Knight is a fully complete game.
yeah, Shovel Knight in itself
Like,
is truly a
with
fully
no like
complete game.
rushed endings.
Oh
or
yeah,
anything.
sure.
I think it's. I mean, like, this is obviously because Final Fantasy 15 is fresh in our minds, and Final Fantasy 15 is, with anything, is a very extreme example of the
They spent
problem.
10 years on development. They're trying to get all their money back that they can.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
obviously. And that's why it makes it such a good example of like what's kind of flawed with this because it's more apparent here, and that's why I think why it was so easy to make on it. But I mean, like we've seen other games that have done this before. Like if you remember Sonic 2006, I mean,
I remember that game
woo!
for other reasons.
That was a thing, but it was the same problem. Is that essentially development of the game itself and the budget they were allowed and the development issues which is generally how it happens, is that there's always developmental problems going through either because of management or whatever, causes a drain on resources, and they end up having to release a product that really clearly shouldn't have been released. And I think that's fine if you want to release the product just to get it out there. So at least say like, look, we got the product out there. We know it sucks. I think the problem really comes
there's
into
also like early release games now too.
yes,
Yeah, like
early
early
access has
access.
been which I really hate the idea of a game that's called early access and like you get into it, you pay the full price of what the game is, and then they use that money to develop the game fully to get
Right.
to the final product.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm okay with that personally, but I can't think of a bad side of it either,
Well,
other than the
I'm
game may not
okay
be
with
finished
it.
and you paid a game for that may not be finished.
I'm more okay with that model for the indie developer who is trying to push through it, and they're connected with their player base, and they're taking the input, making the game better based off of the input of the early access buyers
Yeah.
and backers.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
whole
yeah,
other thing
it's
if, like,
almost
a
always
triple-
indie. I
But,
don't know if I've seen a AAA
I don't
early access game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's more, I think, my thought process on it. I mean,
Yeah.
betas to a degree, kind
Well,
of are for
AAA betas are
also-
generally more of like a marketing
yeah.
or maybe stress testing, like
Yeah.
on the server side of things.
I think, but jump back into it is that what I guess more my issue is that when we see this kind of thing happen, it's it's fine if you're going to release the game that's busted because I get it. You want to make your money back for as a company, and you do have a product that can be played. I think the really issue comes into it is where we start to see the moves, as you stated, where they start to they're trying to earn all their money back, so they're doing everything they can by releasing season passes, DLC items that were ultimately a part of the original game. And
they weren't part of the original game. Most of this stuff was probably developed after the game went gold.
well, you're right. That's not the right term to use. What I should say is that it's something that should have been, or very clearly
Right.
needed to be.
Well,
a part
it all.
of
I mean,
and had
that
been
it
pulled
just
out.
comes down to budgeting and then
Yeah.
long-term development. I mean, I don't think there's really a good answer.
I don't know if there's a good answer. I haven't had really a lot of time to
Like
think
at some
about it.
point, there's probably like we got to release it now or cancel it. Like right? Like
Yeah,
well,
no,
we
you're
gotta
absolutely
go
right.
keep working on it forever.
Well, I don't know. It seems like they could with a 10-year line.
Well, I mean, eventually, no one, like investors aren't going to want to fund it or something.
Or be
Oh,
like
yeah.
Street Fighter 5. Don't even have an excuse. Just release
Yeah,
a
no,
crappy
just
game that
just
doesn't
release-
even work.
I did see an article today that says that Street Fighter V finally feels like a full game.
That's because it does finally feel like a
Like
full
2 years
damn
later?
game. Well, because like they're
That's your
that they
AAA
wanted
early
to release the
access
game
right there.
out for competitive play, and competitive play was like their major focus, and that's what they wanted to focus on. But then they released the game out, and even the competitive players like this is like just an arcade fighting game. There's not even like modes to play on. So I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, there's definitely going to be different like opinions and thoughts on like what's okay, is it okay, and I'm really not here to debate that. But it is interesting to see like how the internet and how as time has gone on that this kind of thing can be done where a company can release a product, whether you
Yeah.
agree it's really fully done or not, that's up to you on, but that they can come out and keep adding things onto it over and over and over, and it beckons the question, at least in my eyes, regardless if it's done for the right reason, for the wrong reason, whatever, is this something that we desire, or would it have just been better if they had just added those things in as part of the original game from the start? Yes, in the cases of like, well, this is just something that they worked on after the fact and they're releasing it out now, that's fine. But
I mean, we just don't know if they could have added those things. Right?
That's absolutely, and that's I'm not going to question whether they could or they couldn't, whether they were bad or like whether they're being jerks about it or not. But it does beckon the questions that should have they. It's not so much a could or couldn't, but would it have been a better idea to do so? Is this something that in the long run might be better for games in general, where they end up releasing these kind of things that probably could have been or should have been put in the main game, or probably not? Because I mean, at the end of the day, if you buy
I think
the game,
always more content is probably better.
well, always more content is
Anyone's
better.
not gonna say no to that.
Well, I don't think so either. But I'm more concerned is that you've got these, like I said, like you've got multiple season passes, multiple DLCs, but they're all things that felt like if they feel like they could have just been a part of the actual game instead of pushing the game out to get it out to make the money. Why not just put these items in now as opposed to then?
Yeah.
Is this because of so on and so forth? That's what I'm saying.
You could just
That's
tell
what I'm
Square
talking about.
Enix was feeling the pressure at that point.
Yeah,
Especially
I know.
after they had to already delay the game again
Specifically
after
for
they had
Square Enix.
the big hoopla party.
Yeah, specifically for Square Enix situation, it's an interesting thing to look at, and certainly something I think is a great lesson to pull from for the future. But I'm talking about, in a general term, away from Final Fantasy 15.
Oh yeah.
Then that becomes the question, because it's always a very slippery slope. It's always small little things that change or are touched on over time, and it's like it's okay now, and then about 8,000 okays now later, you look at it and go like, wait, shit, this was a really bad idea. Can we go back? And you can't.
Yeah, and the litany of, I think every big game now has like a definitive edition with like all the DLC and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like I just bought the Dark Souls 3 with all the DLC and stuff on it.
Yeah, there you go. And then we know that I think is there a definitive edition for all the Dark Souls to be in one right now?
There's
they're
Prepare
actually
to
coming
Die
out with one, I
edition.
believe.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
now there's the
Prepare to Die.
compilation.
Devil May Cry.
We were just talking about it before coming online. You're basically you're paying a premium to play it sooner, right?
Yeah.
I know Devil May
Always
Cry
late.
has released their the first, the second, and the third game twice now for the whole compilation.
I mean,
on,
didn't they just announce?
Yep, and the PS4 one is going to be coming out now. It's the same thing
Like
for the
updated.
PS3.
I mean, like the Dark Souls one's gonna have Dark Souls 1 and 2 are gonna be updated graphics and stuff because it'll be on a new system.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to do that for the DMC4 one or not.
Yeah.
But I know, but that just goes back into like they just released editions, and like in those cases, those are old games. People probably don't have consoles; they bring them out and whatnot, so it's not that big of a deal. It's understandable.
Listen to our remaster
Yeah,
episode
right.
of Podcast of Five Rings to get our thoughts on that.
For that discussion.
God.
Way back when.
Yeah, I don't know. It's without everything being super transparent. There's no way to know whether or not.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's
if
just
they could even, or if they should have, how
every situation you got to take it to its own context. You
Right.
you kind of look at it how it happened for itself. I think it's something that we should at least be wary for and look at, and to make sure that if that's the road we go down, if that is the road to the take, that we're looking far enough ahead to potentially see any potholes in said road. So
Hopefully Kingdom Hearts 3 is a
I mean-
finished game.
Yeah. I mean, everything wants to go to games as a service now, right? That's the
yes,
big
Yeah.
yeah, it seems to be like the big
buzz
thing.
term.
Man, I don't want to pay to go to Mulan level or Moana.
Yeah,
or
I don't want to. I don't
Toy
want games
Story
as
or
service. I enjoy my games being
Get
just
Luke
something to play.
Skywalker as a companion or whatever for the whole game. Or
Oh
Wolverine.
yeah, yeah, because they're owned by because they're owned by Disney now. We can go to that in Kingdom Hearts. Oh
Yeah.
shit.
We can do. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised honestly if they put an
I would
Avengers
not.
World in there, but I don't
Oh,
think they will.
not
I'm
even
hoping it's
surprised.
just original Disney properties or whatever.
Oh, so
I'm kind
too.
of hoping to. I hope so too. I
But
really
they just
like.
did it. They did
no
it with
Marvel
Tron
or
and Kingdom Hearts too. So
Tron was originally produced by Disney.
I know, but still.
That is an original, or yeah. That's
I
not
think-
like they bought something and they later acquired the rights to, like Marvel and Star Wars.
Okay,
It's
Mal,
kinda
but
fun to
but
also-
explain this. How is My Little Witch Academia an Netflix original series, but they didn't produce it? Huh? Explain it to me.
We're not using
I
those
know.
terms. Like,
I'm being silly.
different everything. That has nothing to do with Kingdom Hearts.
That was the biggest scarecrow argument I've ever made.
that was
Where
right.
did those goalposts
Caw.
go?
Caw.
You moved them so far away.
Went to a completely different stadium.
Yep. Oh my god.
Not even in. I don't know. It's now basketball.
Yep.
There's no goalposts.
New game.
Oh my god. All right, Mal, what do you got for us?
Oh, me? Okay.
Yeah, you're.
Yes, you.
You get the tough question. Now you get the tough
Speaking of
topic.
Kingdom Hearts, because that's about all I've played this year so far since the new year. I've been replaying Kingdom Hearts 1 as a part of an ongoing leading up to Kingdom
When
Hearts
you
3.
walk away.
Replaying 1, 2, and then actually playing for the first time all the not numbered ones.
You don't hear me say, please.
Simple and clean.
Oh, meta,
is the way
don't
to
go.
make me feel- Obs, simple and
Don't you.
clean is the way you're making me feel tonight.
What's good? That means we're gonna have a good show. All right, sorry. Keep going.
Anyway, so I was thinking about the topic of replay, like, you know, and what replayability of games and whatnot. And
That's a
like,
good question.
yeah. So, what makes something replayable for you guys?
You go
Actually,
first, Tets.
I was thinking about this because there was a New Year's sale on PSN, and Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Edition or Extreme Legends Complete Edition, talking about all the added.
You almost
Think
got
of the
yourself a
topics.
Kingdom Hearts title.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But-
Sons of Patriots 2.8 HD edition.
Remix Birth by Sleep.
Featuring Dante from the
Yeah.
Devil May Cry series and Knuckles.
anyway,
Ooh,
Um,
Knuckles.
but so, oh god. But yeah, so I picked that up because I ended up was able to get it for like $5, and I was like, you know what? I really enjoyed this on the computer, and I didn't because I had it on PC, and I didn't 100% it, but I got close. Let me just go ahead and get it for $5, and then I was like, why do I necessarily? I mean, like really, the Warriors genre, and I guess not genre, but series of types of games in general.
Muso games.
Muso games, like, they're literally retelling a story that they've retold every previous game. Why do you pick them up? Or even why would I buy the same exact one a second time? And for it, the addictive gameplay, I guess, is the way, I don't know quite how to word it, but it's the way that you can just, at least with the giant hack and slash Muso games, you can kind of go to a degree into this zen state. You can, you don't have to play it on ultimate difficulty, you put it on normal, and you just kind of press buttons and just mow through things, and it's just kind of almost like a zen moment, just kind of this relaxation.
It's a
and
chill
this-
game.
Yeah, and it's this familiar, it's almost the comfort food of video gaming.
It's like eating a Big Mac, right?
Yeah, like
God,
it's
that's
just-
an
it's
amazing
what you
metaphor.
know. And you, I mean, really, what really, besides graphical updates, have they really changed between Dynasty Warriors 1 and Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Complete Edition?
I accept this challenge. Here we go. Buckle in, boys. We're going on a ride.
Definitely is differences.
Rhetorical.
And speaking of video games, how much are they really all that different? And I just think that it's that comfortable game, that enjoyable, it, and you just want to kind of consume a game, but if you're not in the mood to be going into time traveling, alternate dimensions, jumping between worlds, trying to find Mickey amongst craziness and blah 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 blah, this is just the kind of game you want to jump into. And I think that everybody kind of has that, like, not just in games, but everybody has that movie that they put on, or that TV show they put on in the background whenever they're doing stuff.
Gilmore Girls.
Or Scrubs.
Mal.
That's actually Futurama for Lily. She'll put that on the background.
Oh,
and just
really?
Listen to it. Yeah, just listens to Futurama in the background.
Man, I don't think I've ever done that with TV. I have to actively watch television for some
That's
reason.
the same.
Which is weird
I'm
because it's a very
absolutely too.
passive media. Or medium.
It can be,
technically.
yeah. Like, I always have to have something else on, like, while I'm playing
Yeah.
games or something. I always have, like, something on.
I'll do that
TV.
with YouTube videos and stuff. Totally.
I can't I can't do that. Like, I actually get really easily distracted by when something's on. I'll be in the middle of what I want to do, and then the other thing will be in the background, and then I'll keep looking over at it, and I'll stop doing what I was focusing on in the first place.
Well, this is certainly off topic.
But to
I think that
Yeah,
plays
I get
into
what you're
why
feeling,
people
yeah.
have replayability for games.
I mean, what is the same hold for you guys, or like you, Meta?
Actually, like, not so much. I mean, I enjoy the Musa games. I generally play them.
Well, I just meant other games in general.
But well, I mean, like, yeah, but well, I mean, in like the case of like, I'm using it to jump into like my kind of thing. But I enjoy like a game that's got like sense of comfort to it and whatnot. But I think what really makes a game replayable for me is if it's got a new game plus. I actually don't like starting games over. I actually really hate starting games over. If I lose my save data, I actually contemplate, was this game worthwhile enough to replay through the 500 hours?
Meta's all about efficiency with his time.
I really am. I really like being efficient with my time. But
Not
more
me.
importantly,
I'll just throw it down the drain.
Me too, Mal. You and me, bro. We're sailing away.
I don't like a game that doesn't have a new game plus is really frustrating. And then I generally am really even picky about the new game pluses. There's an old PS2 game. It was if you've played Brief Fencer Musashi for the PlayStation, then you probably know of the Musashi game that was out for the PS2. And in that game, they gave you a new game plus. You could start over from the beginning of doing it. But in that game's new game plus, you literally started over and only kept the collectible cards that you earned through the run-through of the original game. All of your abilities, all of your equipment, all your level up, all that stuff.
Your pot of greed.
Yeah, no pot of greed. You couldn't even draw two.
Wow.
I really hate those kind of things, but I enjoyed like one save for Front Mission 4, where when you start a new game plus, you have all of your abilities, where you get like not all of your abilities, but you kind of get a portion of the EXP that you gained from the original game. You can dump that into your character, so you're already buffed up from the start, and it unlocks new stuff for you to play with on the new game plus playthrough. But you get to play through the game that you already know now. I enjoy those kinds of things. That's what will really get me to play a game replay.
You know what
I'll
I
be able to do more new stuff.
What I love
while
about
still playing the game I know.
What I love about New Game Plus in RPGs and stuff like that is that you can just like coast through the storyline if you want to experience the storyline.
Yes,
that's like the best part about it. You don't have to. You can start with your items. You don't have to worry about leveling up or anything like that. Just, oh man, that story was really fun. I want to kind of like relive it a little bit. So just play through.
It's even better if you get like choices during the storyline that can affect how the storyline goes.
Oh yeah,
those
sure.
are the best. Those are the best new game pluses. I love those. The one game series that'll really get me, Way of the Samurai series.
Oh yeah.
They have like 20 plus different endings. They have tons of different ways to go through the game. I love that game because every time you start the game up, it's like, oh, here's all the stuff you had from your last playthrough. Play through it again, but now try to get one of the other 22 endings that you didn't get the first time. I love those games. Those are so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what really does like replayability for me is if I can play through the game again. I'm not otherwise a big replayability fan.
I think I've done that with Tales of the Abyss like 5 times already. I think because you get a grade basically in all the Tales games. They have a grade system depending on like how fast you win the fight, how much damage you take, like your combos and stuff. Yep, you get a grade. You get grade points. They accumulate throughout the game, and then when you beat the game, you can spend them in like a new game plus mode to like get 10 times XP or double XP or start with all your items.
I never knew that. I've never done new game. I'd never do new game plus.
So that's something I use a lot. But honestly, what game have I beat other than Pokemon Red? What game have I beaten more than any other? I mean, Final Fantasy IX, maybe. I played Kingdom Hearts a lot too.
Why do you normally replay a game?
The story, man.
Oh, that's
you got a game with a good story. I'll keep replaying it.
Three of you hit most, like you did pretty good hitting of my three thoughts on it or whatever. 'Cause I was thinking it was usually either story, enjoyable mechanics, or multiple approaches.
Yep,
was the three I had written down.
Wow.
Oh, it's always great.
Than I could have planned.
I mean,
we should replay this. You know what we should do? We should replay this podcast and see what changes next run through.
Yeah, or if you just have a different way to play, like especially with BioWare games, like I can play this class this time and do it through this way,
Yeah.
and I can be a renegade.
Yeah, that's kind of
or
where I was going.
Dark
like,
side or
multiple approaches,
whatever.
right?
Yeah. Well, like even looking at future Monster Hunter and previous Monster Hunters, you can go on the same hunts using different weapons that are totally different than mechanics, and it's almost like it's a completely different game.
You've got games like Monster Hunter, and then like especially like multiplayer games, like or For Honor or a MOBA or PUBG, where it's all like the same gameplay loop over and over. But you know, you might have different equipment. Or you might have, I mean, especially in multiplayer, you have different, like, the human element to add variety.
Yeah.
The only time I really hated doing it is in stuff like WoW. And that kind of gets into my topic later, but we'll talk about then maybe a little bit. But
no, I actually probably would have to agree. Like, for the ones you have written down now, those are probably the major reasons. But
yeah, I would say so too.
Yeah, those are probably definitely the reasons I would replay a game.
And then, social aspects can definitely help, like Monster Hunter we have coming up.
Yeah.
Like where we might keep playing the same hunt, but you know, we're just having fun with with each other. So
playing with the boys.
Right. Destiny was really big with that for me and Mal. It was like we just got online just to play with our buddies. You know, we've played this strike 500 million times. We know exactly where to go. We know exactly where this guy's going to teleport to. But we're doing it because we're hanging out and we're having a fun time. You know,
Destiny 1 also for me had the how you were talking about the gameplay state for you, like the Destiny 1 really like it was really like not like when we weren't in PvP, but like PvE Destiny 1 like just was very chill for me.
Yeah, you find your groove, you find what weapons work for you, and you find what class works for you.
Punching and grenades and shotguns.
Like a hunter that thinks he's a Titan. That's what I do.
I looked at my Destiny 1 stats after I stopped playing the game, and like almost in every game mode, punching was like my top weapon.
No running overheads, Mal.
Yeah, just punch him right in the face.
Because you mostly played Warlock, right?
A Titan.
I forget.
By the end of it.
Titan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but early on you played Warlock.
Yeah, I started with Warlock.
Can so far, and then the Titan punches so hard. So, anyway, that's tangential. But.
Yeah, I did a lot of those tonight. Yeah, what is the game I played the most? Probably Final Fantasy X, definitely.
I've beaten that game like 5 or 6 times as well.
That game has got some. That game has got like insane end game area to fill.
It's also got good replayability because you can go different routes on the sphere grid. This time I want to make Titus a white mage.
I think I mostly just play it just because I'm in love with all aspects of the game, basically. And like the story,
I got so much nostalgia for it.
Right.
That is actually, I have to agree. I really enjoyed that game. Like looking back on it, there was a lot.
That was the first video game that ever made me cry.
1, 2, 3.
There's some Obsidian flavored blackmail for you that you can use.
I mean, do any of you guys ever look for replayability as like a determining factor in a game?
To a degree, but this is going to, I guess, kind of get a little bit meta, but to a degree as well, looking at how much there's a, like in the mechanics, if there's a replayability aspect, like if a game is entirely like these couple mechanics and that's all you do, to me, that's going to lend well to replayability. Whereas if there's like 500 million mechanics that change throughout the game, it's less replayable for me. It's a turn off. Again, kind of like moose out games.
What was the question again?
Do you like look for? Is it ever like a factor for your games replayability, like the games you buy or whatever?
Ooh, no. I do enjoy. I do enjoy it though, but not really. If a game ends right, it ends right.
That is all about that ephemeral one-time experience.
Sometimes, I'm telling you, man.
Unless it's
sometimes,
Neo or Devil May Cry.
If you pick up a game, sometimes you pick up that game and you gotta eat it like it's a nice, fancy-ass dessert, and you're gonna have that dessert once, and that's gonna be it, and then you go back home.
No, you just live off that dessert forever and ever and ever.
Sip on it like it's a nice, expensive whiskey that you'll never get to try again.
Exactly. You gotta enjoy it for the moment that you play it, and then move on with your life.
Your mono no ware pleases me. It's replayability is not something I really look for, but it is always in the games that I play. So, because I'm
just
big
what
into
a coincidence.
JRPGs, so there you
What a
go.
coincidence.
Yeah, it doesn't affect my. Is never a factor for me. Especially now, I just don't have the time to be replaying games.
There's, as I was saying earlier, my backlog is so huge, I just can't even think about it half the time.
Mine's not that big anymore, honestly. I got like Nier Automata, Dark Souls 3, which I just got, Bravely Second now. I think that's honestly, there's not much more than that. At least I'm remembering.
I'm at the point to where I'm only basically, if I'm replaying a game, it's probably like one of my favorites of all times. Like, PlayStation 1 and 2 RPGs, and then like Soulsborne.
Yeah,
Mass
Mal and I
Effect.
breezed through like 25% of Bloodborne the other night
Yeah.
in a few hours, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. I say so myself.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's get on to you,
that's
Tets.
me.
What you got,
Let's go.
Tets?
More games.
More
In
games.
case you guys haven't noticed, I'm really excited about Monster Hunter. I think we could have a counter for the amount of times I've mentioned Monster Hunter this podcast alone.
It was a topic. Twice, I think.
It was, yeah, actually.
Probably.
Maybe. We're going to be
But,
playing it a lot.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
In fact, we've been discussing the idea of making it our first Let's Attempt to Play. We'll see if that
Official?
turns out. But
I mean, I guess it was our first already, but
No,
but-
it wasn't.
I know not of what you speak.
But so I've been really excited for this game, and I kind of thought back, trying to temper my excitement for this game, because I remember about this time last year there was a series of games that I was really excited for, and one of the games, Neo, I rated as one of my least favorite games for 2017 because of hype. Is that I had hyped it up so much in my mind that it was hard for it to live up to, I guess. But I just kind of wanted to discuss like hype's place in kind of going back to like what Meta was saying about how games have changed. It used to just be they just kind of told you about a game and you kind of got excited, but you didn't have these events, these 4 different betas before the game dropped to drum up hype, to get all this excitement, all of these physical paraphernalia to go with it, to collect all these things. And I'm just curious.
Another thing brought about by the onset of the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah. YouTube videos. People getting early released.
I mean, I guess there's 2 types, right? You hyped up Neo for yourself so much,
Yeah.
whereas like the internet did not. Like it was like not on a lot of people's radar.
Yep. Whereas, and not getting into the full debate as to everything that went wrong with this, but No Man's Sky was
Right.
hyped. How much and what did we get delivered? But I was just curious your guys' opinion on.
I think of
on
Fable
hype.
right there. When you talk about No
yeah.
Man's Sky and Fable together.
Oh, did you hear
Oh,
that
yeah.
they just greenlit a new Fable game?
They have to.
Why?
It's one of their IPs. I'm surprised it took them this long, but
It's been years since we've seen a Fable. hasn't
Well,
it?
I mean, the original studio's gone.
Yeah.
They gave it to the studio that only does Forza or some other racing game. I can't remember. So
I don't know how
who
to
knows
feel-
what's coming now? Who's coming
interesting.
for, what's happening?
The new Fable is going to be all about sports cars.
You're a sports car racer. Now get married to this
Lionhead-
woman and
Lionhead
then
is
divorce
disbanded.
her and steal her car.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Like a lot of hype is advertising based. Like at least
Yeah.
like not the personal hype stuff. And advertising is a powerful thing.
Oh yeah.
Like on all sides, like on in the business side and on the like how it affects people side.
Yeah, advertising is one of those things. Like it's weird. It's something that imagine life really without advertising, as weird as that sounds, because, like, how do you not, you know? But at the same time, it's like...
I find it fascinating.
Yeah, how much it really affects things.
Oh, yeah. There's a podcast I listen to, Under the Influence, and it's all about influencing and how it's like how advertising has influenced, you know, things throughout history. It's a lot. There's a lot of things that art would not be around without advertising this even.
Yeah.
Like orange juice for breakfast.
Orange juice?
Sure.
What?
Orange juice with breakfast?
What about it? Oh, is that just a product of advertising?
It was not a thing before, like a certain advertising campaign.
Oh, okay.
Diamonds as being rare and exclusive and things that you must buy to be considered rich and exquisite. Totally drummed up by I forget the name of them now, but they had like an excess of diamonds and they were trying to sell them, so they did an ad campaign making them seem, you know, very rare and everything, and then they jacked up the prices and sold a bunch of them.
The South Sea trade bubble.
Yep.
So yeah.
But like, I know for myself, I always get caught up, like, not so much in the manufacturer's hype, but in the hype that I make waiting for the game to come out. Like, I know I fall into that trap a lot. I'm sure you guys can attest to that. How many games I've talked about, and then as soon as it comes out, you just hear me no longer mentioning it.
All right, little younglings, sit down, because Jedi Master Obsidian's going to spin you a yarn here about a game 10 years in the making that we've already talked about this episode. I'm going to tell you about Final Fantasy 15. This game came out, I played it, I loved it, I put 60 hours to it in the middle of finals week. I didn't give a shit. My friends gave me crap for liking this game. When I told them it was number 3 on my list of Final Fantasy games, they scoffed at me haughtily. They gave me the stink eye. They shrugged and gave me the cold shoulder too. And you know what? They're wrong, because I've been replaying that game. It's still just as good.
Oh yeah,
just as
I
fun.
actually quite like 15.
I need to actually play it.
Yeah. They can take their faux intellectual, swallowed by the collective consciousness of the internet bullcrap. Get out of here. You make fun of my boy band. You make fun of Prompto and Ignis and Prince Noctis and the other one whose name I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
The one with the worst DLC.
Those are my bros. You come after them, you're coming after me. So get in line, younglings. It's time to get slaughtered. I'm Master Anakin. I'll take you to town like I took out those the sand people.
So I guess to round out this topic, as Obs gets done on his...
Obs is very passionate about his boy band.
I am.
Any games that either did not live up to the hype that you had built them
Destiny 2.
exceeded the hype you thought you had
Not
for
Destiny 2.
They made fun of Core. They made fun of the bad guys. They made fun of the Dragoon. Ariadna. She's the waifu. Get that Iris crap out of here. If you like Iris, I'm sorry. Your tastes are awful. I'm just telling you. You're going to turn down the Dragoon chick?
Destiny 2
My God! Oh, we don't understand, Obs.
I'm with you. I'm not against you on this one.
Everyone's
very
against me.
He's very passionate about
Everyone's
it.
I don't know if
against
I'd put
me.
it at 3, but it's still quite up there. I'd have to do some calculating.
At least in the top 15.
Is Obs gonna be our games award moment?
Dang it, I'm having my outburst here. I built up my strife. It's all accumulated. Final Fantasy 15 is the greatest game of all time.
You can't. Don't you disrespect Persona 5 like that.
That is not Persona 5, or Bloodborne, or Final Fantasy 9, or Final Fantasy 6, or Tales of the Abyss,
You can't.
or many other games. It's the best Final Fantasy game that's come out in 2016 that took 10 years in the making.
Yourself out of this moment because we're just going on way too long.
Oh my God.
I'm hyped up, man. What can I say? I'm on topic. You're not on topic.
I'm trying to be. You won't let me.
Go on. I've
Okay.
said my piece.
Destiny 2 was okay. I guess I'll answer the second part first. I basically never hype up games like I usually I expect things to be worse just so that when I'm wrong, it's good and not the other way around.
You're pleasantly surprised.
Right. So really, I mean, most games I generally will turn out. Or any game I like ends up being, better than I expected. Except Destiny 2, because I was like, how can they mess this up? They already have Destiny 1. All they need to do is make Destiny 2 the same as Destiny 1, but just on
More story.
Well, yeah, just a new story and whatever was holding them back from being on the previous generation, right? Just all this gen, but just keep it the same, and they messed it up.
I will echo that sentiment so hard.
So yeah, that was I was so sure it was a thing, and it was getting real hype on the Destiny subreddit, and it just did not live up to that for me. Yeah, everything else, I mean, Persona 5 was kind of a thing that came out of nowhere. I didn't see it coming. So yeah.
Oof.
What do you got, Meta?
I was actually trying to think really hard on this one, but
Back to OBS. Final Fantasy.
no.
Give me some more time to
We have
think
been
about
down
it.
Oh, this
road,
promo's not over yet. It hasn't even been cut.
I'm giving you more time to think, Meta.
I appreciate buying me time. The last game I really hyped up for myself would have been
For Honor?
Not For Honor. Neo.
Ah.
For Honor I was really excited for, but that's just not. I wouldn't call that hype. I'm excited for it, but not hype for it because I knew Ubisoft Montreal, not to bash Ubisoft, but here I go. Ubisoft kind of has a track record.
Yeah.
If you look at what is it?
Dog's last day.
No, it's it's the game where
Watchdog?
not Watchdog, Siege. It's like a you know what I'm talking about.
Far Cry, Assassin's Creed. What other games do they do?
Rayman.
Tom Clancy's.
Rayman
Tom
Legends.
Clancy's. There you go.
Oh.
Siege. There we go.
Yes, Tom Clancy's like the Siege one. And a lot of the problems that For Honor faced actually was the same of problems that a lot of Tom Clancy's Siege or whatever the full title of it's called faced as well in the beginning. So while I'm really excited to play Samurai versus Knights versus Vikings, I also kind of knew going into this game that it might be bad.
Yeah, I was definitely just like, I don't expect this to be good.
I mean, I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But there is definitely things in the game that should have just been there from day one, which was like Siege should have been dedicated servers. Siege has now dedicated servers, and people who continue to play the game have actually stated that it's better. The game is better than when it first came out. And I just didn't understand like why they made the choices they are. But Neo, that is one game I hyped myself up on, but that's because they let me play gosh dang demos of the game. And having played the demos and actually having experience to play it.
I mean, actually, you've never played a Monster Hunter game, to go back to this.
I've
got to play the demo, and
I think the demo has done a lot for me because I mean, don't get me wrong, the videos were really cool and it got me interested enough to go like, yeah, I'll play the fucking demo. Let's try it out. Having played the demo, I'm like, this is actually a lot of fun.
I need to shoot all the things.
I get to shoot everything. Bombard them with fire from the skies.
And now there's an Elder Dragon you can do it on.
So I mean, like that's really cool and awesome. Now I'm really excited. I'm kind of hyped, to play the game because the hype is real. I'm ready on the hype train. The only other thing I recently saw myself getting super hyped for and desperately wanting to be would have been the leaks that I talked about for potential Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
That is the hype train that I want to ride and I want to believe in, even though there's nothing substantial.
You want to ride Valhalla, shiny chrome?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I have boarded the hype train. I know the hype train may not be real, but God, I want it to be. So here I go. I don't think I've ever. Not saying I've never been hyped, but for an actual game when it's fully realized and it comes out, like I will get myself excited for a game. But hype, I guess hype would fall within excitement. But I don't.
It does have a bit of a suggestion of extreme excitement in the way.
Yeah. I mean, but I never want to go into. I would like to think myself better of going into a game that's like, you may really like this game, you might think it's great and it's awesome, but at the end of the day, if the game is bad, it's bad. You just might like it. So I always kind of go, at least with the ideas that this game could be shit. You might be walking into a landmine and you don't recognize it yet, but play through and find out.
How about that Armored Core mention that From Software said they're working on?
That's got me excited. I'm excited to
Like
know that
November?
they don't want that series to die, that they do want to do more with it, because I loved Armored Core. I didn't really care for how Armored Core 5 came out, and I'm like, this is...
Armored Core was so disappointing.
Armored Core 5 came out. I like some aspects of Armored Core 5. I really do. Like, some concepts of it I really love, but it's not the Armored Core that I super enjoyed, like, from
I was sad
Armored
with how
Core 2.
small they made everything.
So, but yeah, definitely excited for stuff, but hype, I try to stay away from the hype. I'll get aboard trains, I'll do it when I decide it for myself, but I'll never believe hype from outside. If they're trying to hype up their products, that almost sounds like the opposite. I kind of get suspicious.
Well, no,
I'm like,
everyone tries.
like, you know, what really kills me though is like when they start releasing the hype though. There's one thing is like when you start promoting your item, and there's another thing when that hype starts being like, well, here's a cool anime series that's going to go with it, and then here's all these cool action figures that we're already getting lined up for it, and like here's your cool t-shirts and shit, and I'm like, guys, you don't even have the product out yet. What happens if you bomb?
Yeah. And at what point does all that stuff just
Fade
I
away.
did not hear the last
I did
word.
cut it out.
I don't know.
at what point is all that stuff just put it in the game?
Yeah.
Oh
This
yeah.
is driving back to Meta's point, Meta's topic.
Oh yeah.
I think the game
That was
is
what I
Well,
was trying
stuff
to do.
like physical stuff is like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like you can't put
can't
a
put
t-shirt.
an action figure in the game.
That's actually not true. I remember buying Soul Calibur 4, one of the special versions of it, and it actually came with a t-shirt. So there you go.
Oh, you just popped it
Bam,
right out
bam.
of the
Thank you,
game,
ma'am.
right?
Yeah, I popped it right out of the game.
That's what I meant.
And, I
Bam,
still
bam,
wear
bam,
that
bam.
t-shirt on
Do
a
you still have
regular-
that t-shirt?
I
Fuck yeah.
still
He
wear
does,
it
yeah.
on a regular basis
Holy
on
shit.
weekends.
I
Does
love
it have
that.
Yoda on it?
Yoda, and it has Siegfried, and it says
Yeah.
something along the lines of "some battles are only fought with the soul" or something along those
Oh,
lines. Something
Siegfried's not going to be in the new one. Oh, I'm going to miss my Crispin.
No, Siegfried should be
No,
in
he
it.
is. It's going to be like a reboot of the. Of
Yeah,
the
but he
story.
should be Nightmare.
No.
It's
If
still
if it starts from the full beginning,
It's
Siegfried,
Siegfried.
it'll be Siegfried. Then he'll turn it. Yeah, because
Mhm.
It
in the
wasn't until
original,
Soul Edge, the first game, he was
Yes.
Siegfried.
yeah, the first game he was actually
Oh.
Siegfried. In Soul Cali, that's when he becomes Newtmare.
California.
Newtmare.
Newtmare.
I'm pretty hot for Code Vein, obviously. I went from pretty excited to super hot. You know I was gonna get hop after that last trailer. It was so anime
yeah.
that I couldn't get hop.
It's got all the
I-
edges that fit your category.
It has an
for
anime
edge.
cutscene by UFO Table, because that's who does all the anime cutscenes for Namco Bandai's games now. Apparently,
Gosh damn.
yeah, man, I'm super excited.
Yeah, I will try to stay away from hype from outside. I'll hype myself up.
Dude,
Get
demos
excited.
will do it. I'm hot for Octopath too.
And like here's like the
'Cause
thing
of the
is, like,
demo.
when you, yeah, but like a demo though, at least, oh god, this is gonna like break into another category. I want to do it, but like a demo at least lets you know like what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a
Well-
difference between a demo and a beta, but there's only
Most
so
of
much
the time.
difference.
You are still missing the whole game. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was
Right.
real happy with the Destiny 2 demo, and then like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, Mel
Yeah,
isn't
no,
happy.
I can totally understand that. I mean, like it's not to say, but like at least you have stuff to back you on your own personal hype, and that if they're giving you a way to play the product to see it as it is before it comes out, I always enjoy that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, what really helps though is when the company decides to release 2 demos to really show you like we're releasing our first demo. What do you think about the game? Tell us what your thoughts are, and we'll take your feedback into account. And then they're like, okay, we got your count. Here's a second demo based on your feedback. What do you think about it now? That's really cool. That will
And
make
then
me hype really fast.
Different
yeah.
and then
Neo
Monster
actually
Hunter-
did change a few things.
Yes,
Monster
Neo
Hunter
actually changed a fair amount.
Worlds. Monster Hunter Worlds this weekend is their third
Yes.
worldwide demo, or worldwide, but only on PS4 demo.
Yes.
Because
Or
it's only
beta, I
coming.
should say.
'Cause, I mean, I think it's only coming out on PS4 in Japan
Yeah, it's a PS4.
because there's no
exclusive
point in
Japan.
putting it on.
Yeah.
on Xbox when nobody
And then
has
it's
it.
coming out for PC later this year, I believe.
It-
Yes.
It's
August?
autumn
Yeah.
is what they said.
Yeah.
So
I'm really sad that that's not coming out like right away.
Yeah, so is one of my friends
But
who
they're-
really loves the game. He just doesn't
Yeah.
like
they're,
playing
they're
console.
trying to
Make sure the port's
optimize.
good, right? Yeah. 'cause
Yeah,
They've never
and-
really done a port, I don't think, before.
I don't
Yeah,
blame
no.
them. Like, yeah, if they've never done a port forward, then take your time,
Yep.
guys. Seriously,
Don't rush it out.
And
don't rush it because we've seen way too many times where that port comes over and it's like, oh, hey, it turns out it
It's
sucks.
a buggy mess. It doesn't
and,
work.
and here's the thing: all the DLC being free, I'm willing to bet when that happens, the base game will have all of the DLC that's already dropped for consoles.
Probably.
I mean, it hasn't been confirmed, but I would be willing to believe that.
They would earn a plus on my mark. I mean, Capcom in these kind of recent years has been, calling back to they're calling back to the roots, boys. They're coming back to stop. They're gonna be the kings
They'll
of the
always be
world.
Crapcom. Always. Never ends. You
I
can't
will-
climb out of that hole. It's too big.
I will say, going back to topic, as Ops tries to default again. 17.
Is it? Oh, sorry.
Good,
In Street
good.
Fighter 5, Capcom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the beginning of 2017, I had 4 games that I had a large amount of hype for myself. Neo, as we've already discussed. For Honor, so Neo was for me I hyped more than it necessarily. And we talked about that in a previous episode. For Honor, it kind of met the hype, but I always knew it was going to be PvP and therefore something I played with people. So as I'm not playing it with people, I'm less inclined to want to play it. And that was just something I kind of knew. But another one, I don't know that I've ever really talked about it on the podcast, is Planet Coaster.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of the spiritual successor to Roller Coaster Tycoon games. You kind of built your own theme park. It's one of those sim, business style type games from the 90s and the early 2000s. I had built it up really high in my head, and I was really, really excited about the game. And I still do kind of play it a little bit, but limitations that kind of let me down on it, I guess. I don't know quite how to word that it's more but it was another game that I overhyped, but one that I underhyped was Horizon Zero Dawn. I thought that game was going to be much more generic than it was.
Despite us telling you.
Over and over
Robot
again.
dinosaurs.
The most
You have
new
such
game
faith
ever.
in us.
But in the back of my head, I thought it was only because there's robot dinosaurs, and I was afraid. I was afraid that it was just going to ride off of the fact that it had robot
No, it's got
dinosaurs
a-
that you hunted.
It's got a
with
neat little
bows and arrows.
sci-fi story with some heart in there.
Oh man, it has such a great story. I was blown. It was one. It just blew my expectations out of the water. So that's one that.
Never see it coming.
Yeah, I really kind of didn't, despite what everybody said. So, yeah.
There you go.
All right, cool. Let's get on to my topic.
Yeah, what did you bring to the table beyond your love for Final Fantasy 15?
Something that's not games?
No, I'm going to tell you about our Lord and Savior, Arden Azunia, the greatest Final Fantasy villain since Kefka. People give him crap. He's my king. I don't know if he's your king, but he's my king. Noctis never got to be the king.
I am looking forward to his DLC.
He is getting it. We're going to play that
him and Best
DLC.
Waifu.
Oh my god.
We're going to get inside his head. People are talking about plot holes. Let me tell you what those people didn't do. They didn't watch the 5-episode OVA. They didn't watch Kingsglaive. I watched Brotherhood. I watched Kingsglaive. There ain't no plot holes here to be found. I've covered them up.
Oh my god.
Anyways. Yeah, I just gotta get that off my chest. Gotta get it off my chest.
I mean,
So
a lot of people wish
passionate.
those things would have been in the game. But I watched them all too.
People don't know what they want now. They don't know what
Actually,
they want.
I haven't actually seen Kingsglaive. I keep meaning to see it, but I've never
In all-
freaking seen it.
In all seriousness, it's not very good. But anyways,
Jared.
the promo is cut. Final Fantasy. I'm gonna cut that together and just put it on our YouTube.
just his own.
I wish I had, like-
is not in anything.
I wish I had like recording of me doing like Macho Man voice right there with the hat and the sunglasses and stuff, talking about Final Fantasy 15. I think that would be pretty awesome. But
That'd
anyways,
be amazing.
uh,
Just you going off with like the mic in hand. And shit.
and then the Final Fantasy rises to the top.
Oh my gosh.
Hulk Hogan, you're going down. You think Final Fantasy VII's the best game? Let me tell you something here. You don't call me brother anymore.
Unrelated.
All right. So
Sort of. I saw an RPG that was you play as wrestlers.
oh my god.
What?
Tabletop.
Seriously?
Tabletop.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that. There's
There is-
there's an old
yes.
WWF one.
Oh.
There's one for luchadors as well.
Yeah. One of my friends
my
played
friend
it.
actually has that.
One of my friends played the WWF one, which is apparently old, and he said that it's pretty amazing. He wants to find a copy of it, run it as a one-shot one day, and I was like, please do it.
God, yes, that would be an amazing one shot to do.
But God, 5 minutes in, here's finally my topic here. I'm sorry if you're listening on YouTube. Grinding in video games. This is something our esteemed colleague here, Hida Tetsuo, cites as a big gripe of his. So I want to call him to the stand. We're going to do some interrogation here. I want to hear why he doesn't like grinding in video games. Why is it such a turnoff for him?
So let me clarify.
You start with your honor.
Thank you. Motion upheld.
Sorry, restart. You son of a. No.
Oh my god.
No, but part of it is too, what do you define as the grind? Like, for me, when I hear grinding in games, my brain always, for whatever reason, goes to JRPGs and having to go fight random battles till you get high enough levels so you can finally go tackle the big bad. And I don't enjoy that because I guess playability topic, to me, it's like if
You
I
don't
want to
love that gameplay loop.
I really don't. I don't enjoy turn-based games. I have to really enjoy the story. I've only finished a few turn-based RPGs, and they're ones that I really felt invested in the story on.
Legend of Dragoon was one.
Actually, that one is one I just watched because a good friend of mine growing up loved the game, so I just watched and played the entirety of it.
Yeah, that game's so good.
But I don't know. It really is the gameplay loop. Because if you go to like Destiny, where the grind is for the weapons, I have no problem playing a strike 500 times to try to get that gun to drop. Am I going to do it on my own? Probably not. Part of the fun of doing that grind is I'm just hanging out with friends while I'm doing it. So maybe that's a difference.
I mean, yeah, basically all Destiny is set up that you're always grinding. Like that's its secret. It's always grinding.
It's a different type of grinding, though.
Right.
Right, and even like Monster Hunter World, to make another mark on that.
Actually, that's more traditional RPG style.
Literally killing monsters to get a carve, to hope you have the right percentage to get an item, so that way you can craft items to fight bigger monsters. But it really is the gameplay loop. Like when I guess I don't enjoy turn-basedness when it comes to video games. I would rather have.
Yeah, it's less about the grind.
control.
It's more about just turn-based video games.
Right, and that's more what my gripe is. Because I don't mind. Like, I know like a lot of people talk about, like, say in RPGs where they have to do side quests in order to be a high enough level to do the main quest.
I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of that actually in games.
I don't think so either, but I hear it complained about a lot, so I'm addressing it. Because a lot of times I also just love going on every single side quest, so there's that. Because again, it's about getting that story. It's about hearing all these small things in the universe, seeing how everything ties together. How this one thing that happened on this side of the continent, this random one person still feeling the effects from. That, to me, is where I'm okay to grind. If it's just specifically to get a numerical advantage, so that way I have a numerical chance against I'm less inclined on, because it's just numbers. And if I really want to do number crunching, I'll just go do math for fun. And who does math for fun? I mean, seriously.
Hey now.
So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents.
Well, I have a
Or there's
feeling
a distinct progression.
that Mal and I share a similar opinion, so I want to hear what Min has to see.
About grinding? Oof.
Come on, Meat Man, what do you got?
Yeah. I mean, it all kind of depends on how it's presented or how I pick up on something that's interesting. I mean, it's so broad. Like, I know one thing I don't like, at least in MMOs, I don't like
that's where I was
doing
gonna go.
in the leveling up for MMOs.
Yeah,
I think that's
yes.
really boring and really dull.
But
Collecting those bear asses.
Yeah, I love collecting those bear
grinding
asses.
quests in MMOs is the freaking worst thing in the world, almost.
It is. Somebody had a formula out there, and I don't remember now. It's been so long, but it's called the 8Ds, and it's every type of quest can be associated with a word that starts with the letter D. Defend, so on and so forth. It was kind of like that kind of concept, but essentially, it was the 8Ds. You could go down the list, and that would tell you what that kind of quest was when those were the stable quests. But see, like, when you're grinding just to grind the level, that's when it gets really annoying. Or, like, when you're doing a quest line that's very clearly just to get you some level up so you can go back to the stuff that was more important than, helping John the Hunter find his mark.
Oh, you better look through this pig poop and find these gems, because they eat these flowers and they poop out these gems, and you better collect them. I ain't doing it.
But, like, then you get something like, say...
You watch my car.
We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
Bravely Default, where you have the jobs, and I will literally stop playing the storyline, just like you're doing right now, Obs.
Yep.
And you will just grind to get the abilities on the job.
Yep. This is where the topic was inspired, because I've been playing Bravely Default for like 3 weeks now. I'm only on chapter 4 out of 9. I'm level 85. I have like 5 jobs mastered, and 5 of the jobs for like each character. I'm like, oh, I got the ninja. I got to master the ninja now. It's always really good because you get the 2-handed ability.
See, like that's things I'm talking about.
Progression though, it's not like it's just about numbers. There's an actual progression that's happening.
That's the thing though. It's all about that presentation.
That's why it's addictive in that game.
Technically, everything is numbers in a video game.
Yeah, I mean, like
hidden behind something else.
Technically, you could argue that kind of, like, the repetition of going through, like, say, in Monster Hunter, because we always have to come back to that somehow.
No, we're going back to Final Fantasy 15.
No, down, Obs, down. Well, I mean, like Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter's grind is, go out, kill a monster, potentially get the drop you need, eventually keep killing it to get the drops you need, craft a better weapon, go kill the better monster for drops that you need to go better and kill better monsters. That repetition. That's
I love top-end MMO grinding, which is what Monster Hunter, honestly, is probably going to feel more like anyways. Like Tetsuo was saying, I like the grinding for gear. It doesn't matter. Like, redoing scenarios over and over again, fun.
I'm not a totally big fan of that, like on a personal level, but it's easier if I have friends who are just going to be, we're going to be...
Well, yeah, that always makes it better.
But but it's like what you're doing now in Bravely Default, Obs, is potentially even more straightforward and dull than what you could argue is for that. Than what is the Monster Hunter. But even though you're not progressing like anything but the jobs, you're not even progressing like potentially other things along with that. You're just doing the jobs. Whereas Monster Hunter, you might be progressing other stuff while you're trying to get that gear or those pieces of equipment. I still would find the one that's technically more dull, which should be grinding just the job itself, more fun for myself than I would say the one where I'm trying to continuously getting gear or drops and pieces and whatnot for it. And I think that just, again, comes back to like your own personal take on what is acceptable for a grind and then how it's presented. I don't like it when I go out and kill a creature for the 5th fucking time in a row, and it still won't gosh damn drop its spine that I need to put on my sword so that I can get my cool new sword so that I can do just enough damage to kill off the Triceratops in the next level. God damn it!
It keeps dropping those boots, and the rogue always gets it. He always rolls. I'm playing my feral druid. Those are my boots.
And that's the thing for me for MMOs. Like, MMOs feel like it's the grind, the game. Like, and it is, like, that drops these specifically, like, as you guys are saying, the specific boots, whereas in Monster Hunter, it's parts.
Yeah.
is.
I
It's
just
not
like,
crap, I guess.
but like for me, like the reason why I like the other one better, like the one that Obs is doing right now with Bravely Default, is because at least then I know I'm gonna get a cool ability guaranteed. I just have to put some time into getting that. Whereas RNG, it's like, oh, you could get it on your next drop, or you could get it in the next 20 attempts. You will never know. I don't like that set of uncertainty. I really don't. It makes kind of trying to grind for something really annoying, really dull. It's even worse in a game that's Diablo-ish, where you start like trying to farm for a fucking weapon, and it gets random like ability drops on there. So not only do you need your gosh damn weapon to drop, but then you have to hope for the abilities that you want on that weapon to drop with it.
Too, Tits. Yeah.
Yeah, Borderlands is definitely one of those ones where it's like you get this one gun that has this one ability, and you want that ability on a different gun, so you try, and you'll play the whole game without getting that ability on the gun you want it on.
D&D heroes.
But that's why you don't play it for hunting for that gun as opposed to just playing. I guess.
Yeah.
So
I guess, but like it's still a grind, and those are all different types of grinds. They're all different types of ways. My grind might not be somebody else's grind, so.
Oh yeah, as many different types of games and as many different types of gamers there are, that's how many different types of grinds that are enjoyable to that many types of gamers.
Gotta watch out where you're grinding, how, and who you're with.
So now that we've gotten Tets and myself out of the way, let's hear
Mal.
what you and Mao have to say.
You go
I
ahead,
don't know why
Mal.
he thinks we're on the same page.
Are you gonna?
I don't know. We might not be. I don't know. We have similar
I don't
tasting
grind
games.
on things. I just don't. Like if it, like on JRPGs, I just don't do the grind. Like I've never really felt a need. Like in Bravely Default, I don't grind out job things. I just play through the story because that's what I'm there for.
Ah. So
Just
you
naked runs
you
in
don't even.
Bloodborne.
It's not even a fact of like, is there a grind that's okay to you or not? It's that you just don't.
I mean,
know.
like MMOs, they are built to be a grind basically as their core. Like you can't avoid it, right? Like I love Destiny 1, and that was always like trying to grind out new gear. But like when it comes to like JRPGs, I play through the story, and that's all there is to it, really.
Anytime there's freaking like equipment or stuff that gives you freaking ability, because this happened to me with Final Fantasy IX. I always grind a lot in that game because I want to get my abilities off my items. It was like that for me on Tales of Berseria. I grinded a lot in that game just because I was like, oh, I gotta max out this item and max out this one. Oh, I got a new one.
Yeah, like in Tales of Berseria, I just put it on an item, and once it was
I was like, nope.
Filled up, I just switched to the next one.
Yeah.
That being said, you want to know something that will get me to grind when I don't want to grind? The trophy on it.
Get level 100.
I don't do those either.
Because it's the same thing as like Obs is just saying. It's like I've got to complete something, and again, I guess it goes back to the whole having a physical progression. But I don't know. Like it's just like seeing that check mark that I know that's a silly one to add, but I thought it was something that needed to be addressed.
Like my favorite Dark Souls 1 was level 1. That's my favorite way to play the game.
Mal
No leveling
ain't
up
cashing in
required.
no souls.
Level 1, naked, no items.
Nah, you need
Fists
items. That's
only.
the whole thing that makes it. I mean, I guess you could. That just takes forever. That's a different. I guess you're grinding out a boss at that point.
Yeah.
Dodge, punch, dodge, punch.
Parry.
Now you're playing Parappa the Rapper. Chop. So yeah, no, I mean, I'm JRPG guy, and those games always have the stigma of grinding. And like usually when I play most JRPGs I play, I don't have to grind, just like you.
Yeah,
Mal.
I can't.
Like Persona 5, I didn't grind.
It's old ones. It's old ones. It's not most modern JRPGs. It's old ones. Play like Legend of like Gaia, or like or Legend of Dragoon. I mean,
those played those though, and I don't remember grinding a whole lot.
Play Final Fantasy 1.
You don't have to grind it. Like, well, I mean, like, each one's gonna ask you to. Well, I guess a lot is relative, but I mean, you did have to do some grinding if you really wanted to not be murdered, or if you know how to play the game perfectly or really well. But they did require that you do a little bit of grinding, and that's probably the issue. Even Final Fantasy VII, there was a point in the game where I actually had to stop and do a bit of grinding because I'd gone through the story so fast that when I got to an area, the creatures were kicking my ass. I couldn't survive against some of them.
That was one where I just had to grind too. I was like, I gotta level my materia. Ah!
Yeah, so I mean, even if you don't have to do a lot of it, the very fact that you had to stop and grind, I think, was what makes the stigma with a lot of JRPGs.
Yeah, I don't remember having to do that, I guess.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys, I'm cutting into another promo here. This isn't Final Fantasy 15, Tom. This is Final Fantasy 8, Tom.
Gosh, damn it.
All right,
no.
I'm not going to cut a promo. But no, everyone always gripes about the draw system in that game being so much of a grind. And it's honestly not nearly as bad as playing any other of
the draw system.
I don't remember draw.
You drawed magic out of monsters and stuff. And once you got to 100, you could equip it to your stats, and they got better. That's no worse grinding than grinding on freaking monsters to get levels, in my opinion. It's even faster, honestly.
I think the problem with the draw system, and personally I hate it, was that I didn't like the idea of
you betrayed me. No.
I don't like the idea of having a stack of spells. I don't like the idea that I had to draw from things to get those
but
spells.
You don't
and
use spells.
Yes, I know. I know. You could get cards and you could do other ways.
Than
to
triple.
You could change items and whatnot, whatever.
Triple
but
and aura.
I think what the problem was is that it ultimately became it was just needlessly meticulous and extra steps that could have just been a system's like, here's an item, when you equip it, you can now cast this spell. Congrats.
No, man, you gotta like upgrade your items and stuff. Like the item guy.
I am.
You cash in cards for gear, then upgrade your items with them. Cards.
Yep.
Man, what helped about that game? It had like the best card game out of any of the Final
No,
Fantasies.
Final Fantasy 9 Tetramaster.
No.
Tetramaster
FF8 card game. I love Final
life.
Fantasy 9, but the card game in 8
Triple
was just
Triad
better.
sucks compared to Tetramaster.
You are objectively wrong, sir. Objectively. I object.
Your Honor, I would like to call to the stand clearly what is right and what's wrong, and what's right is Tetramaster.
Oh my god. I'm going to name the segue the episode instead of games. I was thinking games. I think it's just going to be segue the episode. Or Obsidian cuts a Final Fantasy 15 promo for like 10 minutes. And we talk about other games too.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Oh my god.
I think what partially, like, the reason I don't end up grinding though is I explore the maps a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you do that, you'll save your time.
Like playing like side quests and stuff, you end up grinding in that way as
Oh
well.
my god. I'm getting OCD flashbacks of Star Ocean 3, where it gave you a percentage of how much of the map you'd filled in the zone.
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
like, I have to fill in 100%. I can't not do it. I have to, and you have to literally like hold the thumbstick up against the wall on every edge of the stage to get it to fill out. Oh my god.
I'm glad I don't suffer from the horrible condition that is needing to fill my map 100%.
Oh, I don't have quite that level. I like to go everywhere, but I don't need it to say 100.
The thing that bugs me is when it says 100, and then you can see on the map there's just that little tiny swivel that hasn't been filled in. I can't stand that.
Cat spills my pain. He feels it.
I have got to go do that.
All right, you're off the hook. I'm pardoning you. Full pardon. Meta's going to jail. He's guilty.
What?
Book him now. Book him. This is a kangaroo court.
I invoke the right of dueling.
Nope, no duels for Meta. Don't you know the rules?
Nope,
I forgot that clause in subsection
Nope,
B.
I get the duels against my friends because they doubt my sincerity. And when I tell them Final Fantasy 15 is the third greatest Final Fantasy game of all time, how dare they? I'm a man of honor.
Oh my god.
Honor.
Yes.
With a U. O-U-R. Oh my god.
No,
All right.
that's
All
spelled
right.
wrong
This
way.
this farce has gone
Segue
off.
this out into
Off long enough. Let's cut it off here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode. This has been episode 39 of Podcast of Final Fantasy
We're
15.
playing this game.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's come full circle. You might as well be back.
replay the podcast.
Episode 39 of Podcast of Final Fantasy 15. Your source of enlightenment in the realm of Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15. Arden Azunia, Sid's granddaughter, and Corleonis. Each episode of Final Fantasy 15 Five Rings releases on September 30th, 2016 on iTunes and SoundCloud and PS4, not PC. Now topic by topic, day by day on Xbox One XS as well, with the full video, with the full game, Final Fantasy 15 Royal Crown Edition releasing this summer. To catch updates about Final Fantasy 15 and no other news, give us a follow on your social media platform of choice. Listed in the description below. I'm Prince Noctis. He's Prompto. Meta's the one I can't remember. And and you're Tets is Ignis. Hey man, daggers are cool.
Oh my god.
Follow us on Final Fantasy, twitter.com/Final Fantasy 15, facebook.com/FF15 podcast. And follow MetaStream where he plays Final Fantasy 15 at PSO Final Fantasy 15. Again, I'm Prince Noctis. This has been your podcast.
5 Rings.
Signing out. Bye, everybody.
My god.
We lost all listeners.